How to paint realistic fall leaves in watercolors. This time brown maple leaf with a beautiful curve for more realistic view. An outline drawing is done, which is available for download, and removing the excess amount of the graphite marks from the paper. With an elastic eraser, rolling over the paper surface so that we are not damaging the paper, and removing as much graphite as possible. Now taking color palette, round synthetic brush and watercolor set, we can start mixing colors. I will be using lemon yellow, Indian yellow, Sennelier Red, Alizarin Crimson, Perylene Violet, and Ultramarine Blue for this brown reddish maple leaf. Now let's mix. For the first one, I'm placing lemon yellow, second one Indian yellow with a little touch of Sennelier Red, third mix Sennelier Red, Alizarin Crimson, a little touch of Perylene Violet, fourth mix Perylene Violet, Indian yellow, a little bit more of Perylene Violet to get really this reddish brownish color, a little bit more of Sennelier Red, and you can adjust so that you can see this suits for you. Perylene Violet for the fifth mix, Indian yellow, and little touch of Ultramarine Blue. For the first mix, I'm adding a little bit of Indian yellow and lemon yellow as well. Now on the left side there are very light parts of the edge of this maple leaf, and I'm with white eraser, this is a razor pencil, removing more graphite, and with the bigger brush wiping off the dust from the paper. Let's start painting. Be sure that your water is clean after mixing watercolors. For the first layer we need very clean watery layer, but that watery layer is very small amount. Applying with round synthetic brush water to the inner part of this maple leaf. I'm leaving the curves not covered with water, and as you can see, water isn't flowing anyway, even when I'm lifting the paper up. Starting with the darker part on the reference on the left side, and first mix lemon yellow with Indian yellow, and with wide and big brush strokes applying this watercolor mix. As you can see from my color palette, I'm not using very saturated watercolor mixes, not big and full watercolor mixes. The aim is to be very transparent and to lay layers. We're not aiming for first or one layer of watercolor layers and then call it done. It can't be done in realistic painting with few layers. Your painting can only be similar to illustration, not realistic painting. In order to get your subjects with watercolors to look realistic, we need to layer watercolors. With transparent layers, we can go on and on, add layers, colors, details, tonal values, and by some time, with a lot of layers, we will get a very saturated, rich, and realistic subject. I'm constantly checking my reference, and I very strongly suggest you open the reference, which is available. You can download it right beside the tutorial and zoom in each section that you are working on. I'm not adding reference to the tutorial screen. It's not possible in realistic painting just to have an overall look at the subject and then paint. We need to go into detailing, into depth. That's why I always have my reference right beside me, or right beside the tutorial or another gadget, and you can really zoom in each section you are working on. While the surface is wet, I'm adding more and more color, still transparently, very accurately, as you can see, constantly checking reference because all the information that I need is there. I'm leaving the curved areas out of this painting part. That will be painted later. I'm working only on the inner part, the darker part of this maple leaf. And as you can see now, I'm adding watercolor layer and leaving some yellow parts revealed because I can see from the reference that there are yellow parts, especially around those dark veins, still visible. I'm speeding up the process of painting this maple leaf. Full tutorial is available on my Patreon. Links are down below. The full tutorial takes up to 40 minutes of painting from the beginning till the finishing touches of this maple leaf. I'm finishing this tutorial, this maple leaf painting, and I so enjoy painting fall leaves, especially maple leaves, and when they are curved, it's amazing. I hope you learned something new, but you can still paint on, you can still add details, work on layers, work on those little small veins, secondary veins, tiny veins, all those spots, all those details. It's up to you to push yourself with each new tutorial a little bit further. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial and see you in my next tutorials. Bye bye.